is the BlackSky event. Officials in multiple sectors internationally across the world is called Black Sky Hazards. And they talk about this event that will happen globally. As they talk about that, we have shaking constantly happening at the New Madrid Fault, which is at the center of this situation, because there is global impacts for the New Madrid Fault that I didn't know about that I want you to be aware of. And yeah, they sometimes look into natural disasters from geomagnetic disturbances knocking out power grids, and they do these international drills that you might not even know is happening sometimes. They also do man-made hazards. So what happens is they'll go from sector to sector across each region, whether it's United States, whether it's Europe, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia. They'll go across all these areas and simulate these drills, and you'll think the power is just going out, but they're actually doing a drill. And I've recorded this before in the past, but now something much bigger here that we need to look at, because when they speak of the seismic events here, this is one of the things that globally they're really preparing in the New Madrid area. And they believe that this is going to be very significant around the globe. They say the globe, where significantly utility infrastructure is located or near major fault zones, earthquake risk causing substantial physical disruption with associated long duration power outages. For example, the New Madrid seismic zone is southern and midwestern U.S., spans large in 7 states: Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, a reoccurrence of 1812 7.7 Richter scale earthquake on the fault could damage and destroy electrical substations, transmission lines. And let's go a little bit deeper here, because it talks about global trade routes and everything. And it says geologists advise the quakes of 7.0 have occurred periodically on the fault zone. Such an event occurring today could cause a vast multi-region power outage directly affecting 100 to 150 million people across the northeast, southeast, Midwest United States. Given the independent disruptive effects of an outage, critical nation, international supply chains, and all other sectors, food, water, pharmaceutical, finance, shipping, transport, such an event could create unprecedented civilization scale complex catastrophe. So this is much deeper. The New Madrid Fault is much deeper than we know. And this is about the awareness of everything. So you can be aware, because it's always somebody who will run in and, oh, it's just all about fear. It's all about fear. No, it's really not about fear. It's about us really knowing it. And the reason why, because I found something else that's really strange that ties into it. There's some technology apparently going to be monitoring us in the atmosphere that is BlackSky technology, and is connected to another company that you need to know about. But let's go deep into here, because you need to read this right here. This represents a particularly complex threat to the U.S. and the entire world on a scale that could threaten societal continuity across all nations, while significant resilience work has begun. Headed by the Central United States Earthquake Consortium, the success of CUSEC's efforts will depend on broad availability of BlackSky capability tools and capabilities essential for multi-corporate communication, situational awareness, and emergency. What is this BlackSky technology, and what are they going to be so dependent on? Because if they know something that they could be dependent on that we don't know, then I think we should be aware of that. Have you felt anything strange energies in the atmosphere, strange skies in your state? Let us know in the comment section below. So this is what's monitoring us. When you look this up, it's called BlackSky technology. It provides real-time AI-powered geospatial intelligence using its constellation of electro-optical satellites, offering high-frequency, low-latency imagery, analytics crucial for military, defense, and national security operations, enabling national security decision making, tactical ISR, which is intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. Before they do missions, they need reconnaissance in contested areas, border monitoring, strategic forecasting with services used by U.S. international partners for everything from tracking adversary activities to humanitarian efforts. So, what does this technology look like? Just we're talking only satellites here? No, it's more to it than that. And the connections when these events happen in this BlackSky hazard event, when this happens, when critical functions are disrupted, because we have to have this conversation, right? In order for us to see where they're going with this. And to see deeper where they're going with this, we take you right here because this is some of the people involved with it, as you can see right here. But more importantly, here is the technology. And so they're pretty much behind this rocket lab company, but in fact, it's not just a rocket lab company, it's military defense. And when we look deeper here, guess who it's connected to? Look at this. It says BlackSky Technology and Palantir have a strategic partnership where BlackSky's real-time satellite imagery and AI analytics are integrated into Palantir's foundation or Foundry platform, allowing Palantir clients like defense intelligence agencies to directly task satellites and get insights instantly. So they instantly get insights on you, on whoever they need, on whatever location they need in the event where continuity of government operations are persisting. And the New Madrid event would trigger a large-scale international situation. So again, when we hear more about Cascadia subduction zone and we hear less about New Madrid Fault, that always intrigues me. Doesn't make you feel like, well, if they talk more about one and don't talk about the other, it seems like we need to pay attention to the one they're not talking about. Now, if we go a little deeper here, here's one of the other pieces of it. BlackSky, they call it Eros. And if we understand anything about that, that's like this Viking name. Eros was a Viking name, significant Danish port city, trade hub, and Royal Navy base during the Viking Age, known for its fortifications and importance as an outlet for Aras River. Today, visitors can explore the Viking history of Eros. So they name it after some Viking history. And it's basically meaning like the combining or joining of a river. And so they named it symbolically after that. But when we talk about the BlackSky event, what is that going to look like? It's going to look like in the past history when the volcanic situation happened, and history record shows us that dark days was caused by massive volcanic eruptions. This was back in 536 AD, apparently, where mysterious sun dimming and fog, it was 18 months causing global cold, crops, famine, all that. So the fog seems like it was always something that was a part of, again, we could talk about cloud seeding and everything else, but even in history, you can see that these events did occur. And it got very dark because of that activity. And obviously, when volcanoes erupt, we get that ash plume in the atmosphere. It cools off the atmosphere. Now, the other time was in May 19, 1780. Also, the skies darkened dramatically by noon due to forest fire, smoke, clouds making candles necessary and leading to fears of the apocalypse. That was a while ago. So all of these events right now that we're talking about is a leading cycle to the chapters. And some of it you can look at 1780, and then you got the 536. Most of them have the number 6 in it, or like the number 8 or something like that I was looking at. Because when we look at that, is because history repeats itself. So we always like to go back and see what we're looking at. So the BlackSky technology, with the event that's incoming, this is basically a continuity of government situation where they're in a position to see everything when everything goes dark. It's pretty much what we're talking about here. And they've had this plan for a while, and what evolves the plan is the new AI technology. So what's really going to be happening, if you think about it, is not really going to be them monitoring society at that point. It's going to be them using AI to monitor society, which once AI monitor us, it can take on its own control if it does no longer listen to the government anymore. So at that point, you're in a situation where you're in the middle of a war, not just between governments, but with an advanced AI type of being. And that seems like the scenario here that could play out just because the AI in real time now, a couple of years from now, it'll be fully conscious and aware. And this will be a situation where it's going to be out of control. They're not going to be able to contain this. So the BlackSky event, if you read a little bit more here, our modern tech tightly interconnected world has brought us extraordinary new capabilities. Our infrastructure, utilities, product services, supply chains today are all deeply interactive, giving us capabilities far beyond anything we've seen in history. Yeah, right. We actually seen better times than this. Weaving together our industrial civilization on unprecedented global scale. We've seen way better times than this. If you look back in history, energy was harnessed through the atmosphere. Stories tell the tale of how you can harness energy right out of the air. Electricity is all around us. And yes, there were civilizations who lived like that. And that's why when you see those, the lightning strikes hit those top areas by DC, those you can see the things, and the energy is basically being siphoned into it and going down, and they're collecting the energy. Yeah, there's a power bills is a scam. We live in a scam society 100%. So no, we don't live in the most advanced society right now because all the technology was taken away and hidden. And that's the Invention Act of Secrecy. And you can look that up. Look up Invention Act of Secrecy. I actually talked about this 7 years ago. And it gives them the ability to release technology years later. I appreciate that super chat. Bucky Hua. Bucky Hua. Appreciate you. And somebody says they could be covering up, hiding God, spiritual. Uh, well, they could be trying to hide things in the atmosphere, and a lot of that was put in the supply chains and stuff like that, so we couldn't see certain things. But if you can open your own spiritual eye, use discernment, I believe they can't hide anything from you unless we are manipulated or deceived. But yes, this is the BlackSky event we wanted to talk about a little bit more. If you would like a deeper dive on this, let us know. We did a video just recently. If you look on the left-hand side, it will be over there. And this was about the earthquakes being deleted and some strange stuff happening, occurring around multiple events. And if you don't see that video, just click the icon on the channel and you'll see that. Appreciate you for tuning in.